All right, Randy. It's high noon on Monday.
We're here.
Hey, did your brackets, this is the question everybody asks on Mondays, your brackets completely busted?
They are, and I take no pride or solace or anything. I could not name a single college basketball player this year. Not even nobody. So I knew nothing. I really, it's not anything I've really followed, but just for fun, I did it. It took me 2 minutes to fill out my bracket, and it shows because frankly, I'm next to last place in my league, and that's where I'll stay.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I didn't spend any time filling out my brackets, so I contend my brackets didn't get busted.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, though. So next year.
But what percentage of? Do you know what percentage of our North Carolina schools are still in the game?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Don't know. UNC got beat. I think App lost, and I don't know that Duke was in it. Maybe they were, but I don't know. I don't follow it.
Yeah.
I'm a sports fan, but not so much for college hoops. And maybe I should, but it's just not anything that I've stayed with. So we made it through a weekend. Teddy, you've got a new backdrop behind you.
I completely rebuilt my office, actually moved my office, and I've got stuff going on that that's hopefully going to make my office better. I got less road noise and less distractions. My only challenge, Randy, is I can't see the mail truck come anymore. So I don't know when the mail comes. It brings me all those bills and junk stuff that I get. So,
we'll have to get you, Teddy. We're going to have to get you some carpet for the walls or those eggshells, the egg cartons.
Yeah.
Deaden the sound a little bit. That's what we're going to have to do. Make the acoustics better. So it's a studio. Hey, I got my curtain set up, so I'm ready to roll now. I've got another curtain. It took about a month, but we don't fool around here. So I'm ready to go. Teddy, what are we going to talk about this week? What's our show, and what do we need to know about it?
Well, we'll talk about the Wednesday show, which is all about demystifying the sales job.
Okay.
So sales jobs. Think about that, Randy. When you talk about sales jobs, what do you typically hear from people?
Well, I tell you what, when I deal with clients all the time, professionals, and so often I hear, hey, I've been told I have the gift of gab, and I've been told I'm a people person. So I'm wondering if sales might be the way to go. How hard can that be? All you do is talk all day. So I hear that. I also have to kind of caution folks to say, look, if you've not lived in a highly commission-based, you're only as good as the last month or the last quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is constantly being evaluated, constantly. And there's no guarantee that next month or next week that you'll have a job if you hit a long enough dry spell. So there's some real challenges that go on out there, I think, with salespeople. It's a tough job. But it can be very lucrative. It can also be very, very rewarding, very challenging, and very satisfying for folks. I know you've done sales. I've done sales. And we've had good times and bad times with it. But that's kind of what I hear. And I kind of cringe when I hear people say I'm a people person, because you don't have to be a people person to be good in sales. You really don't.
The guy who taught me sales said all I need to do is be a good listener.
Yeah. Ask good questions, problem solving, just a whole host of things that help position yourself as the solution to an issue. And, here's the thing. Our audience on Wednesdays, about half of them are job hunters. About half of them are not job hunters today, but who knows? And the job hunt really is pretty similar to sales. You're establishing rapport, building relationship. You're asking questions, and the interview is that on steroids. I mean, it's showtime. And are you going to be the solution to whatever ails them? And you may not be. And you know what? That's okay. Just like Teddy, you've been in sales, and maybe the solution you have is really not the best fit for the customer. It happens, and it's not personal necessarily. But those things do happen, and to keep that mental focus can be tough when you don't know when it's going to end. Same thing in sales. Short of holding a gun to your head and said, Teddy, how would you like to buy my widget? Click. Short of doing that, what guarantee do I have that I'm going to make a sale? And I really don't.
Yeah.
Don't. You've had a lot of experience.
Here's my sales story.
Yeah.
I took my very first sales job in 2005. I'd never sold anything. I take that back. I had sold stuff. I helped my girls sell wrapping paper for their schools and sell candy bars. But other than that, I've never sold anything.
Yeah.
So I took my very first sales job. And I'll never forget, I asked the guy who hired me, he said, tell me the number one thing that you know, if I do it well enough and do enough of it, I'll be successful. He said, cold call. Cold call everybody you can, and cold call as fast as you can, because if you call enough people, eventually you'll find somebody who wants to buy our widgets.
What would he say today?
I think he would say cold call. I don't think he's adopted new ideas of networking and getting into conversations and those kinds of things. But so don't misunderstand me. I knew how to cold call. I wasn't afraid of it. I just knew it wasn't the thing I wanted to be doing. And so what I discovered is that real success as a salesperson happens when you get to know enough people and enough people get to know you, and they're hanging out with people that need to know you, and they introduce you. That whole referral network stuff. And so once I started figuring that out and started networking right and networking enough with the right people, my commission checks became phenomenal. And then that's when I knew that sales was a good thing to be in, and it worked for me. And so, and then I took, and I started as an outplacement coach, figuring out ways to adopt those ideas of networking and meeting people and getting referrals. How to apply that to career transition. And that became phenomenal. So
the weirdest thing you sold was candy bars and wrapping paper. Is that what you said?
Yeah, until I became an IT consultant, and then I started selling disaster recovery and voice over IP, and I did staffing. So, by the way, Randy, it's not the weirdest thing I've delivered, because in a previous life, I worked on a trash truck in the morning and delivered caskets in the afternoon. Listen to this, for the same company. True story.
When I was in college, I went home one summer, and this is up in Rhode Island. And I went to, I guess my folks knew a guy who knew a guy, whatever. And remember, I think they were Electrolux vacuum cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this guy was a door-to-door Electrolux salesman. And I rode with him, and I spent the summer with this guy. That was the weirdest thing. And I will tell you that watching and listening to him gave me the clear idea that was not a career path that I wanted to go. Because if I had to be like that guy and do what he did and say the things he said to little old ladies, I'd have a hard time looking at myself. And I have a hard time as it is, because, face radio thing, but just the whole ethics and just a lot of that. But yeah, I went door to door selling Electrolux vacuum cleaners when I was probably 19 years old, 18, 19. Something like that. That's probably the strangest thing that I've sold.
So, but all that said, our experiences are not everybody's experiences.
No, they're not.
And so lots of ways to be successful in a sales role. Hey, Randy, let's drop a few career search tips. You got one?
Oh, I'd have to make one up here, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be doing some media appearances on radio, TV, and also in my Winston-Salem Journal article about the upcoming turnover tsunami that we're going to see. Mm-hmm. Think back to when the recession, we're coming out of the recession back in 09, 10, 11. And if you had a decent job during that time, you hunkered down and you stayed there because there weren't good jobs to be had typically.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that same thing happening now. And I've compiled a bunch of notes and looked at some surveys, and about 50% or more of today's employed workers are in the survey that they cited are going to be conducting an active job search. And about a quarter of all surveyed folks are going to just up and quit because they're so burned out. They feel like once we get through COVID, now there's an opportunity for another job. So my tip is, if that's you and you're watching and you're going, son of a gun, you know what? Yeah, it's time. You need to do the very things that you probably already know to do, but that is things like making sure your resume is good, making sure that your LinkedIn is up to par, networking, interview practice. Get out there, develop target companies, and with purpose go out about the job search, because you're not going to be alone.
Yeah.
Tons and tons and tons of people that are going to hit the streets here before a whole lot longer. Really are.
Yeah. So figure out a way to look different than every other duck in line.
Yep. It does it.
Yep. Hey, here's one, Randy. I talked to a lady this morning, and she told me, I just lost it. Where'd it go? Here it is, right here. So I talked to a lady this morning, and this is her journey. She just got a job. However, here's their stats: 319 days unemployed. She did 223 job applications. She wrote and rewrote her resume 54 times. She had 25 networking calls or emails every week. 25 networking calls or emails every week. 23 first interviews, 18 second interviews, 10 third interviews, 3 fourth interviews, 6 final round interviews. She had 2 part-time bridge jobs during that year. And she emailed her senator 4 times looking for assistance. She had to resort to EBT and SNAP benefits. She had 17 friends or colleagues who coached her, helped her, referred her, and encouraged her along the way. She had 2 times she was she was the runner-up. Finally, yesterday, on actually Friday, March 19th, she got a job. Why do I share that with you? It's for this reason. You can't give up. You've got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. You've got to keep doing the activities that you need to get there. Don't give up. That's my tip for the day. So hope that inspires someone to keep moving forward.
It's easier said than done, but when you begin to see incremental progress, incremental steps, that helps a bit. But yeah, that sounds like quite a journey. So hats off to her for staying the course, and let's hope that is the last time she's going to have to do that.
Yeah,
a long time.
Yeah,
really, I do. Yeah.
So this week we have Josh Winters and Dan Markin from the Burriss Group. The Burriss Group is a sales training firm out of Greensboro, North Carolina, and the conversation that they're bringing to us this week is demystifying the sales role. And wish I would have had the sales role demystified back in 2005 when I took my first sales job. But this is going to be a great conversation. The reason why we invited Dan and Justin or Josh to the show is because a lot of people have experiences that they can then go use in sales roles, but they're scared. I was one of those guys. And so we really want to get people to think beyond what we always hear. The old wives' tales, which no disrespect to old wives, but the old wives' tales about sales jobs. Because I think if we can demystify them and make them look and sound a little more real, then more people will be interested in them. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of misinformation and maybe disinformation about sales and how difficult or how easy it might be. And for people that are considering sales, I think this could be a good eye opener to say, look, you may want to give it a second thought, third thought or more, or you know what, it'll whet your appetite to say, you know what, I can tackle this thing and I'm ready for a change. Because a lot of folks are primed for a career change at this point. They're burned out and COVID has sapped the life out of them for a lot of folks. They're ready. So looking forward to it, Teddy. That'll be Wednesday at noon Eastern time. And if people haven't registered, they can do that. It's free.
I dropped it in the chat.
Yep. So I think it's good.
Cool. All right, buddy. Look, go forth and do some good things for the next couple of days, and I'll see you at noon on Wednesday.
That works for me. Have a great day, Teddy. I'll see you.
All right, buddy. Bye.